Now I know, clicking on this video, there's probably, you know, a bit of a thing we need to address. And yes, I am currently using my comforter as blackout curtains. Unless you go and buy me some blackout curtains, this is what we got to work with. No, all jokes aside, I want to get into it because I think this video I'm going to try not to make super long, but I also want to go over my points. So, for starters, just to get it out of the way, yes, I'm not going to be making Naruto 5e content, at least for the time being. There's a few reasons, and I'm going to talk about a decent amount of them, probably like three big ones, the top three reasons. But yeah. Overall, a little unfortunate, but I'll go ahead and get into my reasoning, and then I'll probably ramble a little more at the end so those that care can stay. So, for starters, one of my biggest reasons, and this one is kind of more of my selfish reason, is I'm just not finding it as enjoyable anymore. I'm just not. I'm never motivated to make a Naruto 5e video. There's a lot of other videos that. One, I have 2 videos already made that I plan on posting next week, and I was struggling in my brain to like find and create a video of Naruto 5e that I was proud of. Because to be clear, there's plenty of content to be made, right? I mean, like, I can do other build videos, I can do other rule things, I can, like, really dig into other aspects, but I'm just not finding as much of a passion for it anymore, and it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of the reality. So, to kind of dig into point 2 and why there is a lack of passion, the biggest thing right now that's kind of, a sub point of that, but the second reason, I suppose, is I'm just finding so much more enjoyment in other things. A big thing that I'm really liking right now is DC-20, which, if y'all don't know, is a brand new system that just recently finished its Kickstarter, and I'm going to have a lot of videos on DC-20. I think it's a really sick system. I think it's really cool. And anytime I go to make a video about Naruto 5e, my brain's just kind of like, well, why am I not doing a video about the thing that I enjoy more of? So that's a big thing, is just a lot of other topics and a lot of other stuff is just piquing my interest a lot more than Naruto 5e is at the moment. Now, another sub point of that one, you'll notice a lot of these reasons are kind of going to build from one another, and they'll kind of have a grand arc ending there. But another thing for Naruto 5e is just, it's been fairly stagnant for a while, and there's a lot of new things. They're updating, they're going through stuff. But just overall, I just feel like I've done most of what I wanted to do with the system, and there's not a whole lot of new things to address that I don't feel like I've already addressed. And I could redo some things and stuff like that. But there just hasn't been a whole lot of like new content, which, granted, that's how tabletop RPGs work, right? There's not a whole lot of new content dropping all the time. It's not a video game where they just release a hotfix every, couple weeks, every month, and then you get this new thing to talk about. And I understand that, but it's just one of those things where I just, you get tired of doing that same thing for a while. Now, what will probably be my last point kind of deriving from all of these, and what I think is the biggest one, and this is probably going to take up a majority of this video and will be most of my ranting, is going to be something that's going to probably upset some people, especially because some of them might know that I'm talking about them, but I'm not going to like name drop anybody because I think that's a dangerous game to play. But it's just the Naruto 5e community as a whole. Now, I want to start off this kind of rant or section by saying that those of you, at least almost all of you that are in my Discord personally, y'all are awesome. We have created such a really sick environment that's like so inviting for new people. For whatever reason, we recently had a very big like drum up of people trying to find games, whether it's Naruto 5e or regular D&D or whatever, which is so sick. And that's kind of part of what I set out to have, is a community that can get more people together and play and do more things together and like have these community events and things like that. And with Naruto 5e, it seemed like there was a lot of potential for that. The system was really, really cool, and there was a ton of room to do very good things, because it's like a homebrewn, I guess, system that just has so much room for creativity. you probably noticed that like one of the first things I did as I was like kind of growing the channel was I hosted 2 different tournaments, and those were so much fun. And those of you that participated in the tournaments, awesome. I think for as like small scale as they were so much freaking fun. But that's kind of where I want to hit on the negative aspect of this point that I was going to start with, is the Naruto 5e community, which, while yes, there's definitely a lot of crossover between the two, the ones that seem to be separated into the Naruto 5e community alone, not all of them, I want to be clear, not everybody, but a good chunk of them just like aren't super fun to be around. And when you're trying to create a community and a group of people that's fun and that work well together and that like include new people, and Naruto 5e doesn't really do that, it makes it really hard. Now, that being said, they're trying to kind of reconcile that, and they've been implementing new things to try to alleviate some of that, some of the kind of like new player bashing and things of that nature. But it still happens, and it's still pretty often, and like it just kind of sucks when I feel like my community, which is supposed to be like a subsection, realistically, of the main community, feels like it is 10x more inviting than the main community. And like that just shouldn't really be the case. Like, I have had people that will go to the Naruto 5e server and have issues or qualms or whatever, and they'll come to my server and are like, oh, this is way better. Like, why, can you just have the links to the books and things like that? And I can't do that on my server because it's not mine, right? Like this, I didn't make these books. I'm not going to do that. But it just hurts to see that a lot. Like that just stinks. Another example and kind of reason it's really irked me the wrong way, and one of the reasons, to be honest with you, why we haven't done another tournament, or at least why I haven't tried to produce another tournament, is the kind of like reaction and feedback I got about the tournament, both before and some after. Because the tournament in itself, right, in a vacuum, was this completely free to enter event that I had set up and was trying to run using my own time. I did the prize pool with all of my own money, just because I thought it would be a fun, enjoyable time. And initially, especially the first one that I announced, was met with quite a bit of like disdain, I guess. And this was a while back, but it was basically one of 2 reactions. It was either people just not caring and being like, whatever, I don't care, sure, do your thing, which is fine. You don't have to care about my thing, that's fine. But then there were other people that were like super hyper negative about it, like before it even happened. And I was like, this is insane. You're completely like trying to demolish this event that is being hosted by someone with their own time, their own money, for a community that you're involved in, that you can enter and participate in for a prize pool, and yet you're like just trashing it? Like, why? Like, I don't understand. And it wasn't as bad for the second one, I guess, because people saw the first one and were like, oh, okay, it's real, it's serious. But it was still met with like just different things and different comments and like, oh, PvP in the system sucks, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, man, D&D as a whole isn't designed for PvP, nor is Naruto 5e. But hey, we just made the system and have fun. And I just don't really want to like put myself in a community where I try to do things that I think are very fun and very cool and very inviting, and like the main hub of the community, it feels like, are like somewhat against it. Like that just doesn't feel good. That's not an enjoyable experience. Okay, I'm gonna hop off that topic for a little bit because I could ramble about that for pretty much ever. But another aspect is, and this is coming from, I'll be honest, a pretty selfish place. And it's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. And that is that, as someone, again, who was trying to like grow and really like flourish this community, because I think Naruto 5e deserves so much more attention and credit than it gets, because it's truly an amazing system that King and everyone else around him has put together. It's truly impressive. It's so sick. as someone who was like such a influential like part of the community, when I would like try to interact with any form of like, we'll say like higher up person for a very long time, I just like got nothing in return almost always. And for a while I was like, okay, it is what it is. Like in their head it's like, oh, it's this random person making videos about Naruto 5e. Who cares, right? But they did a poll a while back. This is when they started doing polls, which was fun. I thought it, engaged the community a little more. And it was basically, how did you find out about Naruto 5e? And I'm not going to have these numbers exactly correct. Just take this with a grain of salt. But let's say there were about 600-ish responses. And like a little over 100 of those specifically answered like from my channel and my stuff, which is insane. I was like, to have a sixth of the community respond and be like, yeah, I found it through this person, was super like heartwarming, right? Like it was very cool. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I've been able to like bring this many people into this thing. But yet there like still wasn't a space for me to like communicate with any higher ups. There wasn't a way for me to like involve myself in the actual like community themselves. And granted, maybe I could have tried harder, I guess, to like get high up. And to be clear here, I'm not like saying I should have, because I've made bits and stuff about like having a part on like their Kage Council and stuff for making decisions for the books. I would not want that. I don't think I'm a game designer as much as I think it would be fun to like create my own game, right? Like I have that vision. I don't think I would be good at it. So that's not what I'm saying, just purely as a content creation side. Now, recently they did give me a little spot that I could like post my videos. But it's one of those things where like, this is gonna sound bad, but it's like almost too little too late. Cause I kind of had stopped posting for a while, right? I was already like in this slump. But yeah, so just a big chunk of it's just like the lack of community support from Naruto 5e, like the main hub. And again, this is going to come off bad, and like I know that I'm going to get some comments and stuff, but I just needed to be honest about why I'm going to stop posting these videos. Otherwise, it was just going to be like, why did you stop posting? And every comment would be like, oh, your content switched up. Why? Blah, blah, blah. This is why. And again, I'm just going to reiterate before I get ready to close the video out. Not every single person in the Naruto 5e community, or not every single higher up of the Kage Council or moderators in the server are like bad people. That is not what I'm saying. That is not the situation. It's just overall, it was not very inviting and not very cool to be a part of, like I felt like it could have been. A lot of lack of potential, I guess, or a lot of missed out potential, rather. So anyway, those are kind of most of my main reasons. I could probably sit here and rattle off more and different stuff, but those are kind of the biggest things, and it stinks. And for those of you that have been here, especially early on, and you started watching the original campaign and have gone through all the different videos and stuff like that, thank you guys. It's been so cool. I mean, it's so sick to be able to like create content for a community and have y'all enjoy it as much as you do. It's genuinely like something I didn't think would really exist. And I'm not even a big content creator. I'm still such a like small little person in like the grand scheme of things, but it's still so cool to have that little tight-knit community. So I am going to be posting probably a lot more now that I'm kind of like lifting this weight off my shoulders. A lot of the reason I wouldn't post, and like I said, I have videos literally ready to upload right now, but I couldn't because I felt like I was like cheating y'all, or I felt like I was like doing something wrong by not posting Naruto 5e content. Well, that just shouldn't be the situation. If I don't want to post it, I just shouldn't post it. And I should just post what I enjoy, what I'm happy about, and hopefully y'all can find some enjoyment in that. And if not, well, man, it's been a good ride, and I, again, cannot thank y'all enough for sticking around. But that's just how it is. And hopefully I can see you all on the next one where we're going to be talking about some DC 20. Peace out.